Well, beautiful indeed. And time for us to now turn our attention to the Easter long weekend that is ahead. And of course, it's also, time for us to talk about some finances. And as we know, many South Africans are wondering how much they will be able to enjoy themselves. And because there's worries about the economic status and stability. And that's due to the recent downgrades to junk status. So Peter Takaendesa, a portfolio manager at Mergence Investment Managers, is joining Expresso this morning to talk us through this so that you can feel more informed going into the weekend. Peter, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for inviting us.
It's so good to have you on the show, Peter. So we've heard the words junk status thrown around, but I want to know for the layman, the regular person on the street, myself included, what exactly does this downgrade mean for our pockets in the short term?
Yeah, it's good that you actually studied that way, because I think what's important is to put across that not everything has been downgraded to junk.
Yeah.
There are we have three main rating agencies globally. So one of them still rates us as investment grade. We haven't gone into junk.
Okay.
Then the other one rates what we've borrowed in money from other currencies, what we've borrowed in dollars, what we've borrowed in pounds, that has been moved to junk. But what we've borrowed in rands is still investment grade. It hasn't gone to. There's only one rating agency that has put us junk on both types of commitments.
So we're talking now about borrowing money. That essentially means government will now, with the junk status, have to pay more. How does that filter down to the South African pocket?
Yeah, it does. And again, let me just reiterate that this is a warning shot. It's actually not the shooting down. It's a warning shot. So what this does is that the government will have to pay more when they have to borrow again. It doesn't immediately raise what they have borrowed already. Okay. The cost of that doesn't change because it's agreed on already. But whatever they have to borrow next, they will have to pay more on that. So what it effectively means to the man on the street is that possibly, potentially, the government will not be able to deliver on some things that they have promised, in the sense that the budget is this much, they have to take out of that to pay interest on that money they've borrowed, and they are paying much more now. But there is another way that it works again. Okay. Mostly you see it through the foreign exchange rate, which is the rand compared to the dollar, the rand compared to the pound, and many other currencies. That is the most immediate one. So what that does is, as we all know, we import oil into the country, which then is turned into petrol, into diesel that we use in our cars, in our public transport. So if the rand is getting weaker, the oil price remains there. That means we pay more on the pumps on petrol. That filters to the food retailers, because they have to transport all those things in. It filters to the farmers. They need diesel to plow and whatever they do. So it comes down mostly through the foreign exchange, but also through the government money getting depleted.
So we're definitely going to be feeling it in the pockets at some point, yeah?
We will, but not always lost at this stage. It's still just really a warning shot. Okay. But what we have to do is to make sure that we don't go on a downgrade spiral, that it stops here.
Yes.
We don't need any more. But again, to be reasonable, we will expect that one of the rating agencies, which still rates us investment grade, will probably line up with the others into sub-investment grade, which is so-called junk. And just to make it clear, these rating agencies and the rating scale goes from D to AAA. You can see how wide that spectrum.
Exactly.
So we've just moved into just one notch below investment grade.
Okay.
So we are still far from D. We are BB plus.
Okay.
We're still up there.
So
it's a warning shot.
Yeah,
we don't have to make it worse through our own means. That, I think, is the key message.
Well, Peter, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we hope that this information will allow you to feel more informed and prepared about the country's economic progress. Now, we know that, South Africa is rich in natural resources and ecological heritage that needs to be preserved. So do enjoy this weekend, but also keep in mind what Peter just said.